In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to calculate the endpoint of an investment in Excel. This is a quick way to project where your money will land after years of saving and compounding. And once it's set up, you can change any input and watch the result recalculate instantly. Let's jump right in. Start by opening Excel on your desktop, and then open the investment workbook you want to work with. If you're following along, go ahead and replicate the layout in your own file so the cell references match up as we go. Now we need to label the cell that will hold our end value. Click cell A6 in the left-hand column, directly below the years row. With that cell selected, type the label end value, so the row clearly describes what the formula will calculate. Once you've typed it in, press Tab to move the selection across to cell B6. This is where our formula is going to live. With cell B6 selected, we'll start writing the future value function. Type an equal sign, then FV, followed by an opening parenthesis. As soon as you do that, Excel pops up a little tooltip showing the argument order, which is rate, then TEF, then PMT, then optional PV, and finally, optional type. We'll fill those in one at a time. The first argument is the periodic rate. Click cell B4, which holds the annual rate, then type a / and the number 12. That divides the annual rate by 12 and converts it into a monthly rate since we'll be working in monthly periods. After that, type a comma to move on to the next argument. The second argument is the number of periods. Click cell B5, which holds the number of years. Then type an asterisk and the number 12. That multiplies the years by 12, giving us the total number of monthly periods. Once that's in, type another comma to continue. The third argument is the payment per period. Type a minus sign followed by B3, which references your monthly contribution. We enter this as a negative number because it represents cash leaving your pocket each month. Type a comma so we can move to the next argument. The fourth argument is the present value. Type a minus sign followed by B2, which references your initial investment. This one is also negative for the same reason, since it's money you're putting in at the start. Now type a closing parenthesis to finish the function and press enter. Cell B6 now displays the end value of the investment. With the sample inputs of $10,000 plus $500 per month, a 6% annual rate, and 10 years, it should read approximately $100,153.76. If this helped, hit like and subscribe for more quick tutorials. Now let's clean up the formatting so the result looks like proper currency. Click cell B6 again to reselect it. Then go up to the Home tab in the ribbon. In the number group, look for the $sign button, which is the accounting number format. Click that button, and the value reformats with a $sign in front, comma separators between the thousands, and 2 decimal places at the end. Take a moment to glance up at the formula bar at the top of the screen. It should read equals FV, open parenthesis, B4 divided by 12, comma, B5 times 12, comma, minus B3, comma, minus B2, close parenthesis. That confirms the formula is referencing the input cells rather than any hard-coded numbers. Because of this, you can now change any input, whether it's the rate, the contribution, the years, or the starting balance, and the end value updates automatically without you having to rewrite the formula. And that's the result. Cell B6 in your investment endpoint workbook shows the final value of the investment, which comes out to $100,153.76 with the sample inputs we used. The formula is driven entirely by the 4 input cells above it, so the endpoint recalculates instantly if you change the initial investment, the monthly contribution, the rate, or the number of years. That gives you a flexible little projection tool you can reuse anytime you want to test a new saving scenario.